I'm Kira, and this is Polymer Clay TV, and this is our year of veneer. So today I'm going to show you how to make faux leather. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We do this every Wednesday, and you'll get a new YouTube video every week. Sign up for Polymer Clay TV. Come on over to polymerclaytv.com and visit the blog where we have hundreds of projects just like this. Let's get started. To create this effect, you're going to just need a couple things. So I have two different colors of clay. This is Premo Burnt Umber, one of my favorites for all kinds of things, especially this. And I've got Sculpey Souffle, and the color is Cowboy. So if you're doing faux leather, these two colors are pretty close and nice for doing a leather if you don't feel like mixing colors. If you want to mix colors, there are so many different ways to get brown. You can do a mud color by mixing two complements, or you can just mix a little something into a yellow or into an orange, or make it more of an orangey tanned leather by adding, say, a little bit of pumpkin to this. There are a gazillion different ways to make a brown leather color, but I'm going to go this way so that I don't have to take time mixing in front of you. All right, and then one of my tools here is going to be a piece of foil, aluminum foil. And the two paints I'm going to use, I've got some color shift, and the color here is Black Flash, which is actually more of a bronze in sort of a dark base. I really love this color for this technique. And I've got my Liquitex Basics in Raw Umber, and that's going to be for antiquing at the end. So first things first, I'm going to set aside the souffle. That's going to be the base of what I'm making. And I'm going to silkscreen on the Premo. So first I'm just going to kind of lay my silkscreen down. I'm going to use a Celtic knot for this one. I'm just going to lay it down, and I'm going to silkscreen using the color shift paint, and I've got a thin squeegee, and then just let that paint dry. The silkscreened design is dry, so now what we can do is I am, of course, going to make a trading coin out of this. So I'm going to cut this down a bit before I do the next part so that the edges of my piece have the detailing that I want. So I'm just going to cut off about an equal amount on each side so that what I get is kind of like a leather belt piece. And I'm just going to set those to the side, and then I'm going to take my aluminum foil and crumple it gently, and I'm going to use it to sort of make pock marks, and I'm going to turn it so that the marks aren't uniform, but I'm just sort of using it to rough up what this piece of clay looks like. So it's got marks in it. You can even kind of scratch on it a little bit. And then you keep distressing it until you reach whatever level of distress is good for you. And then let's just set this aside and do the base part. So I'm going to do the same thing to this. And then I'm going to lay the one top over the other and cut them out together, which will help to meld the pieces together. You can give them a gentle roll if you want. And just pick the section that you like if you're making this into something and cut it out. Now let's say you'd like to give it a bit of a stitched look. Always a great idea when you're doing something that's faux to bring it more realism. So I'm going to take the edge of my blade that's not the cutting edge, the dull edge, and I'm going to make a couple of lines going down the edge here of that piece that's laid on top. And then I'm going to take a sock needle, and I'm just going to make some stitch lines. There's just basically the holes where the stitches would be on the outside edge of that line. And once you're done with that, you get to decide if you want to do anything else to it or if you want to go ahead and bake. I'm going to bake it so I can show you how to finish it off. All right, my coin is all baked. It's looking pretty good, and I changed my mind about using the darker raw umber because everything I've got going on here is kind of dark, so I decided to use instead a warm color. This is Deco Art Media. It's Antiquing Cream, and the color is English Red Oxide, and I think it's going to be nicer for bringing out the details on the coin. So I just need a brush. And here I have a stiff little brush, and I have ready to go a damp paper towel and a dry one. Always useful when you're going to be antiquing. So I'm just going to put a little, I'm not even going to take the coin off the tile because it'll make it a lot easier for me to do this part. So I'm going to pounce it down into all the holes that I made for the faux stitching, and I'm going to make sure that it gets in all the cracks on the faux leather. And this is made for antiquing, so I'm going to go around the edges of everything, and I think I'm going to stay off of the main leather part and just use my wet cloth to mush it around a little bit, and then my dry cloth to get it off the high parts of the design. And antiquing is a process where you just kind of go back and forth until you like how it looks. So you want to get some of that color into the cracks and not wipe it back out. So that's just sort of a more gentle approach when you're trying to get it in the deeper areas, is to pounce it in, go back and forth. Sometimes maybe just use your finger instead of your other tool because your finger won't swipe it out of the deeper cracks. See that? And your finger kind of helps it mush, for lack of a better term, mush around and not come back out. So just make sure you take a look at it in all the angles and you have everything the way you want it before you say that you're done. So I'm feeling pretty good about this, and I love the way that Celtic knot design catches the light, and I like the way that creamy orangey ochre color is in the cracks. And I am so glad that you joined us today at Polymer Clay TV. We do this every Wednesday. Don't forget to subscribe, and we'll see you next time.